So let's talk a little bit about hormones. Before I start, I want you to know I've gotten all my information today, mostly through functional medicine doctors. The Pegan Diet book, of course, by Dr. Mark Hyman, and also some of his podcasts. I've been pulling some information, but I did sprinkle it with candy today by going into the Pegan Diet, which by the way, is still soaring all over the world, and everyone is talking about it. Even adopting 10% of this book is a game changer for your body. So let me bring the chapters on hormones to a concise informational bit for you. First, I think it's pretty clear, but let's all just talk about these hormones. You know, hormones are the greatest communicators in our body, a great communicator. And what they say and do in our body is creates the cells to talk among themselves. So to say it's interconnected is an understatement. It also could very well be a part of our connection to what we're talking about with mushrooms, which is the mycelium and the Earth's communication pathways. We are seeing that potentially hormones are on the first line to tell our body and tell the world what our body needs. So it's a communicator internally and externally is what I'm saying. So it's very interdependent. As we age, I don't think it's any surprise that our hormones become out of balance. So remember, everything in our lives is about homeostasis, everything about our bodies. That's all our bodies are wanting to do, is be homeostatic. And everything inside of our body, in particular the hormones, are to create that homeostasis. Because when we are in balance with our hormones, we feel stable, we feel energetic, most importantly, our functioning is perfect, and we have a lot of vitality. It is probably the pulse towards aging well. It's the pulse towards aging well. But what happens is as we grow older, they can get out of balance. And that contributes to aging faster, that contributes to us being weak, that contributes to us being tired. And really what happens as we age, it's very common and it is natural, is that we see our sex and our growth hormones decline. And we see our insulin, thyroid, and stress hormones increase. So we're going to talk a lot about those five. Almost every one of our hormones can actually fit in those five categories. So it's just a nice, simple way to bring hormone information into little bite-sized pieces. What happens about that instability is how sneaky hormones are. It happens in little tiny unrealizable increments until one day we wake up and be like, oh, I just feel old. My joints, look at my skin, my hair's thinning. So it's like this sneaky little thing every little day. This could have been starting when we were 20. So this seems kind of doom and gloom, but the good news is we have control. We can get them back into balance. And we can do some really simple things that make massive and drastic difference. And Perla, I don't know if you heard, did you hear I was saying how I am obsessed with this interconnectedness this week, not just internally, but externally. And we see that the hormones are the ones maybe connected to the mycelium of mushroom. So when we do go into our gardens, you guys, barefoot, and we do touch our plants and weed and put our hands over everything, it is probably our hormones that are picking up information from the food being grown for our consumption about what we need. Holy, I'm going to say that again, and I'm gonna reverse it. Grow your garden, put your body out in that garden, go barefoot when you can, touch it, put it on your lips, eat your beans, whatever you need to do. And the mycelium and other different communicators found underground will pick up the energy, pick up where you lack, what nutrients you need, where you're what you have enough of. It will pick up the information and it will feed that information right to our endocrine system, right to our hormones. And we can see hormone regulation improve by walking barefoot through a garden. That is not something I would tell most any group on the internet right now, but I'm telling you guys because I know you guys get it. So the interconnectedness that I'm talking about today is internal and external. So here's some tips. So we're talking about starches and sugar mostly, decreasing that, increasing your exercise. I'm going to dive into these a little deeper in a moment. We can increase your meditation, increase your yoga, and increase your weightlifting and muscle building, and increase some things in your diet, and increase some other minerals. But other than that, you guys, everything I just said, as simple as that is, it is the answer. So as simple as that one sentence was, that is the answer. We are mostly going to talk about today our endocrine system as one, but we do have in prior classes, we talked about the nervous system, right? We talked about neurotransmitters with the heart. So we're going to, we've talked about the heart. We've talked about immunity with IgA, and that is your cytokine communicators. And then today we are talking about the endocrine system, which is the hormone communicators. But how cool is that, you guys? In this group, just our little quick 30 minutes, we have covered pretty much in depth and with the top scientific information of the three big communicators, the three languages of our body, which is the endocrine, the immune, and the nervous system. So I just thought that was cool. That's a little backtrack, but I just thought that was cool when I went over all of the messengers of our bodies. So today we talk about the endocrine. We all know that it starts in the hypothalamus and the pituitary, but all of us on this call know it starts with your heart frequency. All of us know that our energetic systems are picking it up from the environment around us. So important to walk in the gardens that feed you. So important to be in touch with the stuff externally. So we have the heart coherence, bringing in the information from the field around us. And then it goes up into the hypothalamus and the pituitary, which are the two glands responsible to keep our hormones balanced and that actually sends signals to every part of the body. In particular, today we talk about the thyroid, right? For all our thyroid functioning, the pancreas for everything, really metabolism, sugar, the adrenals, everything stress, and then of course our ovaries and testicles about the sex drive. Those are the areas we're going to talk about today. And I'm going to say this really funny. When I wrote my notes the first time, I didn't write testicles. My computer fixed it to say festivals. So today we're going to talk about our ovaries and festivals. And I don't think there's anything festive about testicles, but for some reason, my Word document said festivals and ovaries. So you guys, today we're talking about festivals. Oh my God, I thought that was great. We also are, as we age, we are starting to see much more perimenopause, menopause. We're seeing in men belly fat, we're seeing breast tissue, we're seeing hair loss, low libido systems. And like I said earlier, this literally could have started when we were in our 20s. It is so small increments of going off balance. And I think one of the things that I'd like to jump in, because I suffer from it, is thyroid. Anybody on the call, thyroid issues? Yeah. So we know about 1 out of 5 women right now are low in thyroid, but the sad part is half are not diagnosed and 90% are not optimally treated. And Perla, you are probably in the top 0.0002% who are treating their thyroid properly, meaning going into the free T3 and T4s, looking at conversions, looking at the full thyroid the full thyroid panel. But this is just an example of something that's been leaking over time. And so everyone thinks this menopause just comes out of nowhere and hits us, or perimenopause just comes. It's not. It's been slowly stepping up to this moment. The most important thing I think for all of this is insulin. So I'm going to go into the 3 big hacks. My first one that I can come up with, honestly, everything I'm reading, everything I'm seeing, is if we want to make the biggest impact, let's talk insulin. This is everything from your fat to being overweight to your pancreas, etc. Pre-diabetes, diabetes. And it really is from the mounds of sugar and flour we have in our diet. And this is why this is also not just a phenomenon here in the US, but it is starting to grow in second and third world countries. But most likely we are seeing the STEM culture being the US culture. So, if we have the power to do that, I believe we have the power to reverse it. So this is a really another lesson in interconnectedness, that whatever changes we make can somehow, maybe some way, radiate out into the whole world and be a humanity changer. So when we talk about insulin, it's just about reducing sugar and flour. And I found a phenomenal new product. I'm going to talk about it right now because we're always looking for good flours, right? And we all switch to almond flour, I'm sure, coconut flour, etc. Much, 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 much lower on the glycemic index. So much more nutrients and vitals. But one thing I want you to look up is bigboldhealth.com, bigboldhealth.com. Your next flour I want you to buy is Tartary buckwheat, Tartary buckwheat. You can buy 2 pounds for, it's very affordable. It is the world's first harvest of a seed. It is a fruit seed. It is not a wheat. It is not even a grain. It is a fruit seed ground into a flour. Quite possibly, maybe one of the most nutrient dense and macro balanced foods right now on earth. First harvest was just done out of upstate New York. Cold climates make it better. So we're looking at organic, sustainable. Do you have a question, Crystal?
I do. I don't want to interrupt you though. Okay. So we're wondering, what was the name of the website again? And then what was the name? Can you just repeat that part? Because Perla's
Sure.
Right
So
now.
it's Big Bold Health. Big Bold Health.
Okay.
And it's Tartary buckwheat flour. He only has probably 5 supplements that he sells. The flour is his first food product. I want you all to, this is your flour going forward. It really hits, it's low, I can't even tell you, like, name something. I had it all here at one point. It's not, I mean, like, of course, no GMO. Yes, it's vegan. Yes, it's gluten-free. It's a fruit seed. So if you want to, I made pancakes with it last Sunday and I'm still eating them. Like, I made a whole bunch. Pancakes, muffins, crackers, anything out of this Tartary buckwheat, Tartary buckwheat. But don't get confused with the word. It's not a wheat. It's a fruit seed. This is going to be one of our, so yes, Perla, that's it. How much is it, Perla? I think I spent like
$22.
22. Okay. And it's a 2-pound bag. So it's a really big bag. If we're looking at, insulin and reducing sugar, that's pretty easy. I think we all know the sugar thing. But this flour, we do want to have breads in our lives and crackers in our lives and pancakes. And there's no reason not to, especially when we're seeing brand new products. See, this has been grown, I think, in the Amazon forever. Am I right? Up in the mountains in South America. And it was discovered, and the macro, micro, and nutrient profile, the phytonutrients in this plant will blow your mind. I've never seen anything close to it other than hemp. So, and it bakes beautifully, unlike coconut flour or coconut flour that's so heavy. You have to add so much fat to that to get it light and edible. So check that out. So that's one of my flour recommendations. What we're seeing is when we are eating too much of flours and sugars, it's creating any excess calories from that process. So listen to this circle. Any excess calories from that process are being driven right into our fat cells. Then that is producing messages, chemical messages and chemical releases to increase our hunger, create inflammation, lower fat burning, slow down your metabolism, turn women quick, turn your estrogen to testosterone so we can fight. And that turns into hair loss, facial hair, acne. For men, it turns into belly and boobs. This spikes our cortisol and adrenaline then. We are now in fight or flight. Our body literally thinks a tiger is chasing you. All I did was have a cookie, for Christ's sake. And now I have this and then once my body goes into that fight and flight, it worsens my insulin resistance and increases my cravings for sugar and starch so I have enough energy to fight. I mean, the circle is unbelievable. Go ahead, Pearl. Go ahead, Crystal.
Mind blown, baby. That's incredible stuff. That circle it's a terrible thing, but it's a beautiful, like,
awareness.
I mean, that's beautiful the way you just described that. So that's it.
Good. Thank
I'm
you.
losing it over here.
So what can we do? Whole food. I mean, all right, I'll get excited about this. Whole foods. You guys, lots and lots of fiber. Please, extra for us women. Remember we did weed, seed, and feed about our gut biome on immunity. The more fiber we have, the more our gut bacteria, there's a big bacteria in our gut. Its only job is to remove excess estrogen. Hello, PCOS, cancer, all that stuff. So let's increase the fiber, women. Eat as many whole foods, things with one ingredient. And let's eat healthy fats, all your nuts, seeds, avocado, olive oil. Please get out of the factory food cycle, especially with your meats. The energetic trauma you're eating from factory meat is disastrous in every level for the body. But a grass-fed, grass-finished beef, holy smokes, can bring so much incredible, the calories don't even compare. You can't even compare calories when you're talking that type of quality. And of course, know your glycemic scale. Like, there's nothing wrong with having a glycemic scale printed out at the gym, you guys, or for all your nutrition clients, and be like, hey, anything under here, go. Plants, and more plants. We're actually seeing Mark Hyman talk about meats as a condiment. Just something to think about. I don't know if I'm not elevated to that point yet, but it's interesting to see the forefront of nutrition talk about plants, and more plants, and meat being condiments, and then lots of good fats, you guys. So that was our hormones surrounded around insulin, fat, metabolism, overweight, that horrible circle. What we can do, whole foods, lots and lots of fiber in the form, I love psyllium husk and hemp fiber. But I mean, greens also has tons of fiber. We're going to get healthy fats in. We're going to get low glycemic foods in, and lots of plants, reducing your sugars, of course. So literally those simple little things, which we all know, but I have, like, the term food is medicine is almost now underrated, because food is changing our wholeness, changing our radiant well-being faster, better, stronger, with more longevity than any medicine. Medicine's imperative. You have something come up like me, thank God for Percocet for the last 4 days. I'm not on it anymore, but those 4 days, holy smokes, lot of pain. But completely off it. That was just a situation, and now I can work on my inflammation all through food. And we're seeing changes, dietitian-wise, nutrition-wise, doctor-wise. We're seeing changes from proper nutrition faster than medicine. Meaning, there's nothing that says you can't change prediabetes in 7 days. Honestly, we're seeing it in 3 days. So that is the power. So the food is medicine. I almost think it's an underrating. That's what I wrote down in here. That's an extra side. Thyroid. So we talked about insulin for our hormones. What can we do around our thyroid? Our thyroid is our energy. It is our metabolism, also triggered by gluten. So probably one of the biggest things we can do about thyroid and our thyroid hormones is gluten. Also, you guys, interesting enough, there's a fair amount of research, enough for me to talk about, raw veggies, mostly the cruciferous veggies, also being an interrupter or disruptor of the hormone. So raw diets have to watch, if you know people on raw diets, they do have to watch their thyroid very, very, very closely. And I think I would actually get that tested every 3 weeks. Environmental, again, here's that external environmental things as far as pesticides and herbicides are killing our thyroid. So foods we can add in for the thyroid, zinc, pumpkin seeds, and oysters. Oysters up there, you guys are in the oyster capital. Eat those oysters to get that zinc for that thyroid and all those thyroid hormones. Selenium in sardines and Brazil nuts. Sardines is not something I truly eat, but I've been making a Caesar salad, and I'll gladly give you an egg-free Caesar salad dressing recipe that I use lots of sardines in. We make that probably about once a week, and with lots of romaine for calcium. Also vitamin C. Here we go, shroom mamas. Other than taking it as a supplement, you want to get that vitamin C in. We think it's all in the citrus. Yes, it's in the citrus. Yes, it's in broccoli. Yes, it's in green. But porcini mushrooms, right on top for vitamin C, and iodine in the form of seaweed or fish. The third hormone group I want to talk about today is muscles, lean mass, bone strength, really, functioning, and metabolism. Do you know why people are in old age homes? Because they're sick? Because they have disease? Because they can't get out of bed. So function. And we all see on the internet, and we all know people in their 80s that are like, an adult senior home or an age old home doesn't even comprehend in their mind. And what is the reason, the way we can get the functionality is through lean muscle mass building. And remember, guys, when we have all our lean mass and we're working heavy weights, body weight, whatever you can do, this is critical for our hormone balance. And what it is when we move our muscles, it's pulling on our bones. And the bigger our muscles, the more we're pulling on that bone. And that kind of stimulates the bone to say, oh my gosh, I need calcium. Quick, get the vitamin D together. Get everything together. I need calcium. So the body will actually produce its own higher levels of calcium the more we lift weights. So the direct connection between lean mass, higher metabolism, increased bone density is all equal to higher functionality, including agility, including mobility, flexibility. So this getting those muscles working, pulling on our bones forever. And is there ever an age where you can't start weightlifting? None. We are seeing massive, massive extension of high quality life with people starting to lift weights in their 60s and their 70s. So please, this is not an age thing. Diet also plays a big role with protein. And you know, I am such a big advocate of protein in all sources, both plant and high quality meat. And I feel like after exercise, not before, is almost getting more and more critical the more I'm reading. So after one of your workouts, you guys want to work on your hormones, get a really nice plant-based, or if you like a milk-based protein, feel free. But I like some plant-based out there. I love hemp. I love pea. I just watch the chemicals in there. They all have a lot of metals and toxins because they're plants, and plants have been sprayed with chemicals. So we're seeing this backlash against the plant-based community because of Roundup. Anyway, a non-active body. So if you feel like you go a month or two without exercise and it's fine, just keep this number in the back of your head. A non-active body loses between 1 to 2% of bone density per month. 1 to 2% of bone density per month. So getting calcium, magnesium, vitamin K, boron, and vitamin D, plus a good protein source is critical. Calcium, sardines again, even salmon in a can. Really, really, really good for calcium, dark greens, collard greens, broccoli, and almonds. Calcium citrate. If you want to take it as a supplement, recommend calcium citrate. We are now seeing the calcium coming with vitamin D and vitamin K. That would probably be the one I would gravitate towards, all three of them together, because vitamin D is awesome, but it has to have the right pathway to build our muscle, not sit in our arteries and harden our arteries. It can do both. So in order for it to be absorbed in the body, vitamin D, but we're hearing a lot about this vitamin K, vitamin K, vitamin K. And what the vitamin K does is it actually steers it towards our bones and away from our arteries. So when we see calcium citrate with vitamin D and K, I'm all for it. Now, 1,200 milligrams is a vitamin of calcium is the minimum requirement per day. I'm still okay. I'm still on board with that, maybe more, but I'm also not on board necessarily with it all being via supplement. So I think if we look over our diet, and if you had broccoli and you had greens in today, and you had some sardines, you had that Caesar salad, you had some salmon. Oh, Taffy's got to go. It's all right, Kat. I'm done. I only have one more sentence. You got it all.
Oh, okay.
Love you, Taffy.
Say your sentence. I'll listen to the sentence then.
Okay, so be careful with overuse with calcium, guys. We are seeing some studies of it being associated with heart disease. So let's look at the foods we're eating in calcium and maybe bring that calcium level down to a 600 per day versus that 1,200 in a supplement form. Because I think we're all as long as we're eating healthy, we're probably getting 600 to 800 in naturally. And my final, collagen. Definitely something you want to look into. We do not have a lot of strong scientific studies around it, but we do know that we are seeing it directly related to bone density. So veggies, fruits like peppers and broccoli, we're seeing incredible. Vitamin C is vital for that production. So collagen and vitamin C are partners. So those are the areas for hormone balance and hormone homeostasis. We talked about it in the form of insulin. We talked about it in the form of muscle. We talked it in the form of diet. And I think that was it. Wait, I thought there was something else. We talked about it in the form of insulin, thyroid, muscle, diet. Those 4 ways, and I know they're no-brainers, but I can't say them enough. They are the #1 and strongest, fastest, quickest ways we can increase our hormone balance. And with hormone balance is life. It is life, and it is aging younger. And that is it today. Not bad.
Love it.
Nicely done, lady.
That's fantastic.
Isn't that good stuff?
That is awesome.
Thank you. That was good. I used to take calcium supplements. I don't anymore. My doctor tests it every year, and my calcium